And
We're live.
this will go okay.
Hey, welcome everybody to Battle Pirates Crib. We're going to talk about Pillage. And yeah, if there's anybody, we'll get to after the intros. Um, Let me introduce Aussie,
Good morning, everybody.
Magic Mike,
How the hell are y'all?
Lady Cat,
Hello.
Ooh,
Ben,
Hello, everyone.
Stormcatcher,
Jello.
Oops. Two Doors.
So this was the best pre-show ever, and y'all missed it.
Yeah,
yeah, you did.
y'all did miss it. Is anybody here not claim their VXP for Pillage and can share their screen? Okay.
I haven't. No, I can't share it, but I haven't claimed the VXP.
Okay. Because I wanted to get that out of the way really quickly. The problem of token switching spots is still around, and they even do it while, even if you haven't refreshed and brought the prize screen up again, you'll get things. Because I ended up with some Dragoon VXP tokens, and I just wanted, if anybody had the ability to share their screen so people could see what is actually happening so they don't do it. But my word of wisdom on this is if you are claiming the Raging Riot VXP token, make sure that you read when you go to just click again, make sure you read what's there, because chances are it may not be that.
It moved on me. I mean, this isn't the first time it's happened. It's happened to me.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It's continuing,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't want to believe you. That they think you're just, a little bit blonde.
Yes, yes.
I beg your pardon.
You be especially careful, Brian.
Or as Mike
Wait,
said,
I have a camera.
they're going to be
Pick your-
difficult on.
You can guess. Pick your favorite finger.
Brian is special.
We'll have to ask Mike
Wait,
that question.
Wait, bruh. So you mean the Blue Steel Riot wasn't the flag?
No,
Yeah,
no.
that's the one.
Yeah. You know.
Give me a couple minutes and I'll see if I can get mine pulled up.
Okay, and but you haven't claimed them yet.
Are you
No.
talking about the game or your pants?
Yeah,
Get all started in that.
it takes a couple minutes, but yeah.
What?
Okay, well, Stormcatcher is pulling it up. Pulling them up. How is everybody doing in Pillage at this point? I guess that's the first thing we should discuss.
I'm doing okay, I guess.
Okay.
It's easy for me. My Praetorians are U2, and I've got a bunch of the 5,000 survival limited armor on each of them. And it's pretty easy with the Dragoons too. I forgot how much I like those kinds of targets. I've got like 175, something like that.
Okay.
Plenty.
Well, I think we need to get all the new stuff. It's 245, I think. Yeah, 245.
Yeah. And I need the I want the explosive sync dress too. So that's more.
Okay.
And extra guns if you didn't get them all.
Oh, the ones, the Jagged Bite.
Jagged bites, yeah, they're in there.
Yeah, the Jagged Bites are also available, but
I know.
available in the FM. I'm letting everybody else know. They're also available in the FM as shard drops, as 127s and above if you're hitting those. So just keep that in mind. Even though you need to earn them really quickly, you need 8, and you're getting 1 out of the 127, and you're getting 2 out of all the targets above that. It's not a random drop, so you could plan out if you need to.
Up.
Okay, there we go. Alrighty. I'm going to put you on full screen. Go to tokens, and you got enough points, right? Yeah, you got enough points. You go to tokens. Okay. See, you hit yours is in a different place. That's even more fascinating. Okay, because mine is originally, mine is where the Dragoon was. Yours is down where it switches to. So,
Mine was down there too. Mine was not.
okay. Well, let's see what happens. It may happen. Something may happen differently. Yeah, claim a Raging Riot token.
What I'm trying to do.
Okay.
And
let him.
well, it ain't pulling up.
Is that when you first loaded in, or did you load the list again?
That's when I first loaded in. Hang on.
Yeah, there's a glitch where it won't let you.
Okay.
You got to close it all out and open it, and yeah.
Wonder if they know about that one.
Didn't have that problem.
Yeah. And then for some reason, this Pillage screen takes forever to load. Okay.
Yeah.
Tokens. Okay, still in the same spot.
I jumped the dragon.
Oh, okay. Click it.
Stop.
No. Oh, yeah. You hit it twice. So, okay. So he could, okay,
I
cancel.
See,
Yeah,
look,
because
Terrence,
you saw what happened right there.
Yes.
He clicked on Raging Riot and he got a Dragoon.
Now look at it. Switch.
Oh, yeah. Now it switched again. Now claim the Dragoon and see what it says you're going to get. But don't click. Okay.
Dragon.
Okay.
Dragoon.
Still a Dragoon. Hit cancel.
All right. I ain't claiming anything until.
Okay. And now hit the Raging Riot.
It says Raging Riot.
Okay. But,
Well, you can claim that one.
Yeah, you can
wanted
confirm
to.
that one.
See where it goes.
If you wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay, you got one. Oh, it's in the
Okay.
same spot right now.
Give it a minute.
Okay, well hit cancel. Hit cancel. And
Okay. Raging Riot again.
okay, you got two of them now. So now let's see if they move around. Okay, now it's
did
moved up
move.
there. Yeah, it moved. So this is. I don't think they intend this to be part of the strategy part of the game. I'm not even sure if this is strategy, but this really shouldn't be part of the skill set of the players to,
Yeah,
there we go. Now they've switched it up on you. So this is just a warning for everybody out there that this could be happening and you could be claiming the wrong stuff. And if you're at the point where you're just getting the amount of points that you might need, that this could really screw you up.
I will say that
So,
I sent a ticket last time that happened, and they did swap it for me.
Yeah.
Kickstarter
Also,
sobriety test.
the
Yeah.
other problem is if you're not collecting stuff until the end,
And it jumps
right,
again.
and it's finished, and you've only just got enough points to get what you want,
Yeah.
you're not going to get what you want.
Yeah, this is like whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
Yes, the randomness is half the fun. I think it was the unexpected. I forget what Chris's original thing is, but yeah, the randomness is close enough.
The uncertainty is part of the fun.
Yeah, the uncertainty. Yes.
It keeps jumping back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is wonderful.
Yeah.
This is so awful. If they're gonna go in and actually fix the UI again, while they're at it, if they could add in an option to like buy a certain quantity, if you have that many points, like you want to buy Raging Riot VXP tokens. How many would you like to buy? And then you tap on the arrow 1, 2, 3, and then you click buy 3 for 45,000. Yes, good. You have them all now. Or if it's capacity limited, then it would not allow you to go over capacity through that way. It would just give you like up to capacity and then save the rest. But just something like that.
Hey, Jerky, how are you doing? No, and I agree with you that I think this is one of the things that they're planning to work on after they get the HTML5 implementation out of the way. But in the meantime, this what Stormcatcher showed us is quite. That was more than what I expected. I was just expecting after he claimed it to change, not for him to hit one, and then it was having. We all saw that it was having him claim another one. That's even another level of evil that has been put on.
The thing is, though, they might have swapped as he went to click it. They might have swapped,
Mm-hmm.
and that's I think probably what happened because it was swapping by itself.
But while I was just sitting there, it was doing nothing.
Yeah.
It was switching.
Yeah, that's
up.
what I'm saying though, because they were switching by themselves. As you clicked the Raging Riot one, it might have switched. So it wasn't actually there when you clicked on it.
But
There's
Why?
visually though, I think if we review the videotape, at least not in slow-mo, it just appeared that he clicked on a Raging Riot and he got a Dragoon.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I
So
kind of thought that was a little hilarious, but it's Kickside.
Do we just send them a timestamp to that point in the video? Just say like, here it is.
They watch. They always like to watch. They'll sure, because I have already contacted one person regarding this issue, and they told me to file a ticket, which I was a little disappointed in because it's sort of like, by the time they respond, okay, I need to
Store's
get
closed.
Well, even if the store's closed, maybe the raids, maybe somebody's decided, oh, well, you clicked the wrong one, you idiot, and now I don't have them, so I feel like now I need to get an extra 15K just to make sure that I have them. I'm not really sure, because I'm not really having a hard time getting points, so it's I don't really know how to solve it, but it's not great. So
Out of curiosity, I'm going to look at my tokens and see if I actually have those in there.
okay.
Can I bring up another sort of evil UI in the game?
Sure, go ahead.
So when you're scrolling through to click your ships, the row where that is on the screen is right where.
Are you talking about your shipyard?
Yeah, when you're trying to add a ship to your fleet, the row of ships you can select from.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you're scrolling down and you're looking, I've had times where I've seen a ship and toward the right end of that line, and I've left clicked on it, and it didn't immediately load in, so I waited a second before releasing my mouse, and then I released the left click, and what it did was it added the ship to the fleet like it should have, but it also, like, I had a repair going at the time, and it spent like 2 coins to finish the repair.
Yeah, I have.
That's not nice.
Yeah, I have had that. I haven't had it happen in a while, but yeah, it's usually lag going on in your base.
Look, Lego's saying he got a Dragoon
Oh,
instead as
yeah.
well.
Yeah, good job.
On a related topic to that ship bar, I also find that they're not very consistent. Like my Ironclaw Dragoon will be in one spot, my U3 Dragoon will be in another spot, and then my other U0 Dragoons will be in a completely different spot. So I have to search through my entire ship inventory to load up my fleet, which is not ideal.
Yeah, I wish they would tell us like how they sort those, across the bottom, like because it's like, I understand that every time you upgrade it and goes from U0 to U1 to U2, 3, it's a different ship ID. And so somehow they're sorting on these ship IDs in some weird magical way that I don't quite understand. Like, is it the players are supposed to find this order where, mine starts off at the left-hand side with the bacon-colored, the bacon icebreakers, and it just seems to go in a nonsensical way all the way down the line. It's not an order of tier. It's not an order of class or anything like that. It just appears to be sorted based on something like ship ID or something random that really isn't related.
I checked my inventory. I do have the 2 Raging Riot tokens that I claimed.
Well, very good. You did better than Lego. Lego ended up with some Dragoons. So, just, file a ticket if you can. If not, I guess get more points.
Yeah. Well, that did happen to me as well, but I actually noticed it said Dragoon before I clicked claim.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to cancel it, and yeah, it had moved.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I always now double check that before I click confirm nowadays.
Okay. Well, I think we've beaten that horse. Is there anything else we should talk about on Pillage? As far as we went through a lot of it on Wednesday in regards to at least the top end targets, the 131 and the 128. We did talk a little bit as far as what to claim. I guess the controversial one would be Lady Cat. If you could go to slide 11, if you don't mind. I don't know if Snoopy's out there. Snoopy has put these damage diffusion systems on his Praetorians, and he's autoing, I think, the 127s. I don't know. If you're out there, Snoopy, correct me if I'm wrong. He's taking more damage used on his Praetorians than he was with Hyper 30. He did a swap of the two. So my guess it has to do with the fact that he's on auto as opposed to driving them, because you're pretty much always going to be at the epicenter of where the splash starts. So maybe his projectile speed was helping him before. I don't know, but
Well,
go
I
ahead.
I saw in a forum comment that someone else made they were using the riots on the skirmish side of the rainy bases. They weren't working super well on that either. That was still 7 minutes damage total. And Snoopy commented that he tried them on his, that he took them off already. Yeah, and made a nice long 19-minute video, which is very information packed, which is very about diminishing returns from numbers on the Praetorian are already so high with the survival, especially if you have armors and upgrades done, that this won't help that much at all, because it's a decreasing exponential return basically putting this on. So it won't help a lot if your ships are already have a high survival. But if they have a low survival like the riots, it should.
Okay, you're fading in and out, Derpy. Okay,
But-
you might be completely out at this point. We didn't really get all of that, but why? I caught part of it, but why would you see an increase in damage?
Over increasing damage using this over the Hyper 30.
Yeah.
Well, are you lowering evade at all?
Well, at least most of the targets that I've seen related to the garrison targets evade doesn't really seem to play that much. I guess it depends. Maybe it's the target shooting.
You're going slower. You are getting there a little slower.
And that might be just enough to take more damage.
Yeah. I mean, personally, on my riots, I started with the Hyper 30s. I'm going to go through with the Hyper 30s because some of the dynamics, I think, between the going under mortars, avoiding the flaming trash cans, as I call them, coming from the Hell Race, that the speed might be more advantageous. And as we've seen again and again, the projectile speed really helps the countermeasures. So, later, Brian.
Hey, buddy.
Later.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would have to. The way this, I don't know. I haven't watched Ren's video, but the way this is set up at this point, as far as relative to resist, there shouldn't be diminishing returns because you're just going to keep on adding on to that number. But maybe he's figured out some way that it was diminishing returns. I remember talking to Wrong Thinker during the beta testing of this, and he kept on saying diminishing returns, and then we walked through it, and there really wasn't diminishing returns. So I don't know what to say about that. And I'm not really sure how, because you're just going to keep on adding, and I don't know where. It's not like the way resistances worked.
I think it's when you already get to a certain point and you might be adding what you think is a lot, but the return you're getting is diminished because what you're adding is a percentage, and it's smaller and smaller and smaller percentage every time.
Oh,
Once
I know what the term means. Yeah,
I'm thinking that's what you mean. Yeah, you get to a certain point, and it's a percentage of what you have, and if what you have is already pretty high, it's a small percentage.
Well, your
I
survival.
can't remember. I saw the video.
Okay, well, splash damage reduction equates to survival, and it's a special kind of survival that isn't generally associated with the damage type, but it does add in there. So it does translate to survival, but all that these numbers do, depending on the tier that you're at, is add to your armor pool, the way it's been explained. So your armor gets multiplied by a certain amount. So more and more armor is different than the way that the resistances worked in the past, where you could never get to 100, and there was directly to diminishing returns, but I don't know.
Well, the way that it works is if you have, for tier 8 ships, if you have 64,000 survival, that means your ships will survive twice as long. But if you double that again and go to 128,000, they don't survive twice as long as that instead.
Okay. I get what you're. Okay. I get what you mean by that, but
for the average player, what it means is if your ship has low survival, low armor pool number, then this will help more than if it has high.
Okay. No, I mean it's yeah. I guess it is diminishing returns. It's not as because it's not 200% is only 50% more than 100% is what we're going by, right?
Maybe this is too complicated of a discussion to have right now, I think.
Okay, alrighty. We can't do live math. We already outlawed that years ago. So, well, I guess we can get back to how is everybody's pillage going?
Mine's going okay. It's not great. I wish it did better, but my Dragoons aren't totally upgraded. My Praetorians aren't upgraded. I don't have all the best of everything, but I'm getting through it. I'll get what I need. I'll just it's a constant thing. I have to do it as often as I can. Not finding it as easy as Aussie and some of these other players that can drive amazingly well, but I'm getting through it.
Okay.
I'm actually having fun with the Dragoon target. It's a fun target.
Yeah. It's and how much damage are you taking, and what's the build of your countermeasure ship? I guess the thing is, do you have the what is the aquatic
No, I don't think I do, and I'm getting about a half an hour to 40-minute damage on Dragoons. I have a harder time with the Praetorian target because I have different engines, and even though the sync drives should keep them together, they don't. Some scooch ahead more than others. And
no, they won't.
They're not.
You have to have all sync drives.
I need to have them all,
no, I'm just asking Hefo. If you haven't got a sync drive on one ship, that one will go a different speed, won't it? It only syncs up the sync drive ones. Is it?
The other ones are fine. The other ones have the same speed if they don't have the sync drive on it, but they're still not staying stacked. They're not working well together, especially when I use waypoints. I do better if I drive them, but obviously that's not a target you want to drive on. If you can use waypoints, it'd be easier. I'm getting through it. I'll get through it. I get more damage. I can't do it like some of y'all.
Lady Cat, are your dragoons full health right now?
I'm not sure. Check it. Might be.
They're not really talking to her after, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well,
They're still repairing. They were put on repair when I came home when I came up from lunch. I did some few targets and I put them on repair and went back to work and I came home and they hadn't repaired. So they're repairing now.
Well, what I was going to say is that I just took my Praetorians. I drove stacked in the 128 while watching TV, even though you take a bit more damage. I did like 10 to 11 of those targets, stacked them up, and then today I brought out my Dragoon fleet, and I just did a bunch in a row. But every time I'd come back, repair everything but the flag for under 5 minutes. And now I have a dead fleet that I repaired overnight, and a dead flagship, and I have about.
Nice. And my flag and both fleets are taking the most damage.
Yeah. Well, for some reason, it's due to 16.
Can I interrupt as far as one thing that Lady Cat said, that that your flag is taking the most damage on both of them? That's understandable in the 131, but in the 128, unless there's drastic differences in build, you can mollify that concentration of damage in your flag by switching out which ship you're tanking with.
I'm not tanking, they're stacks.
Are you stacking in the 128?
No, I'm sorry. The 131s I'm stacked, the Dragoons. Yeah, and I did that last night. Just started swapping out that ship, even though the flag had the most penetrative survival numbers associated with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started doing
mine. All mine are built exactly the same. I think the flag might have a little bit of extra penetrative.
I see. There's something wrong with your volume.
Is there?
You're low. You're low.
My problem when you don't have the same, my engines are all over the place. I either have a salt drive, I have, I think, one sync drive, and then I have a penetrative hydraulic drive. It's all I had at the time. So, and I never had time to go back. I wanted to do the TLC to get the Praetorian tokens, but my Pegasus aren't all the way done either. So I don't know how that'll go, but I'm concentrating on Pillage right now. I don't worry about that after. I'll just get through it. That's all I can do. Watch some of your great videos out there. Thanks, people, for posting videos. It helps. And for Aussie for showing me how good he drives. He did a good job last week. It helped me a lot. I saved an hour damage just after I watched you, so that helped a lot.
Is my volume any better or not? Because I haven't really done any. I don't know why.
A little bit.
You can't really change it.
Just talk louder. Put the mic next to you.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
I got to
something
yell now.
happened to your mic.
Well, I haven't moved it. What I do is I was able to do 11 yesterday, 11 targets on the first day, but I didn't swap my tanks. The second day, I did 22 128s in a row without repairing, just by swapping. The first time I hit one, I'd have the tank, I had the flag in front. The second one, I'd put number 2 in front. The third one, number 3, so on and so on. And then I'd start again. And I got 22 out of it, out of a fleet.
That's pretty good. Liga, what new damage system are you talking about? I'm not familiar with this.
You're talking about the damage diffusion system.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that you want to use it on Riots, you don't want to use it on Praetorians. Obviously, we haven't tested Riots yet, but...
Well, Kickside lists it as a recommended special. So they're expecting us to use it. Doesn't mean you have to.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about using it on the Riots just because it seems like most of the splash damage that you're getting, there's a couple sources. You have the on the scout ships, you have the depth charges that fire at you with a really high projectile speed. And so the way that the splash damage reduction is calculated is based somehow on your distance from the epicenter of the source of the splash. And with the really high projectile speeds that we saw in the VXP target, it feels like you're always going to be at the epicenter of the splash. The other one is the one I call the flaming trash can that comes out of the Hellwraith. And I don't have enough experience with that to realize how splash damage reduction would work with that. But it also seems like you would have 15% more speed with the Hyper 30 than you would with the damage diffusion system. So you would be further away from it. So you would be taking less damage anyways. So it feels like a tricky thing until we actually see it, in the targets. It seems like a hard one to project what's going to happen, at least in my mind.
Yeah, we won't know till it happens, till we can all try it.
Does that make sense, Derpy? Is that what you're...
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And we haven't, the only targets that any of us have seen has been from VXP. I did a lot of testing on those, but just to see what damage types things were.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, I'm going to go with the damage diffusion system, although Hyper 30 might end up being better. It's just a prediction, almost a gut feeling for me.
Yeah, the gut feeling is they're recommending it. They're putting it out here for us.
It's the new thing. So.
Right, and it's a tier 8.5 versus a tier 7, and if it doesn't work as good as a Hyper 30, there's going to be a lot of unhappy pirates. So I hope it works as well, if not better.
I'm afraid, based on past experience, is that the Hyper 30 is going to work better this raid. The damage diffusion system is going to work better the next raid. Because they're they will fix things. But who knows? Who knows? Like I said.
Well, another thing for me, I had tried the VXP target. I never made it to flaming trash cans because I wasn't ready. But speed wasn't an issue for me. I found I was stopping a lot as it was. So I wasn't going to put on Hyper 30 anyway because I didn't want to be that much faster. So to me, to not be at 30% and just have the 15% made me feel better.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Yeah, but I could be wrong.
The speed seemed to be fine just with the engine and nothing else.
Exactly.
Speed's helpful two ways. The first way is just being faster than the ship so you can count them, so you can kite them. But you can't outrange these ones. So the second purpose of speed is to outrun splash damage. You need a really high speed. So Hyper 30 is better for that one.
Yeah, so if you're a mediocre driver like me, I probably can't outrun the damn things anyway. I'm probably just as well off with the one it comes with. But somebody that's a really good driver probably is going to do much better with the Hyper 30s. They'll use them.
I'm not sure about advantage. I'm not quite sure about that, but if you do auto, you're going to have less of a speed benefit. So damage diffusion system's the clear one in my mind if you auto.
I don't auto, but I don't drive as well as the best drivers. I'm not horrible, but I'm not great either. So, if you're aiming this for the average person, then the damage diffusion system is probably going to work best for me. But somebody like Aussie or Hefe or somebody that can drive really well, Hyper 30, they'll be able to use it to their advantage better than I could. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that kind of does. But we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do but wait and see.
Oh, Hefe's left.
He needed another beer.
Yeah.
Ben, what did you choose? You still with us, Ben?
Yeah, I'm sorry. What was that?
Did you choose Hyper 30 or Damage Diffusion or either? Neither.
I haven't put either one on yet. I'm still trying to figure it out which one I want to go with. I have that spot open.
Me too.
I did have that spot open, but I decided to go ahead and do it.
Yeah. And I still have me some tokens, so when the raid comes, I can figure out which will be better and slap it on real quick.
Yeah, I figure I'll save my tokens as much as I can for refitting during the raid or finishing up during the raid, however it may be.
Yeah.
I'd like to do the upgrades, but I think instead of an upgrade, I'd rather have a complete ship because then I'll be able to test how it works, knowing that the upgrades will just make it better, if that makes sense.
Yeah. We'll see.
Is anybody excited for this raid?
Oh, I'm so excited.
Not even a little bit.
It just goes so fast, doesn't it? We just don't get one done with one, and then we've got all the events in between.
Seems like we just did one.
I know, doesn't it? Seems like we're doing one right now.
No, we're doing 2 right now.
2. Yep,
Yeah.
no. Oh,
Three.
Pillage and FM
3.
and the TLC if you're trying to do that.
Pillage and FM.
Yeah. We're busy pirates.
It's what pirates do,
Yeah.
apparently.
Or they steal it from someone who already did it. We can't do that. No, if we could like steal specials. Oh, I shouldn't bring that up. They might put that in. That'd be terrible.
Yeah, it would.
But wouldn't it be kind of cool if we could?
But you know what would happen is
I know I'd be back to level 50 player in no time.
the baby seal clubbing would happen.
I thought about that during Bounty. I have not clubbed a baby seal in so long, but I did think about it. I just wasn't prepared for all the emails.
They had an 80 and they were fair game if they were in Bounty.
I know they should be, but I still feel guilty.
I feel if they're a 50 and they enter Bounty, they should be able to be hit.
Well, they are, just not by us.
Nope, they should be able to be hit by anyone.
That's true, because they gotta have help with getting preps, and they could speed up real fast so that when we do hit them at 80, we're not prepared for them to be at the level they're at.
Yeah.
They move up really fast right now. I've seen a lot of new people coming in. Have y'all noticed that? New players?
I know that, they do, a lot of companies do a lot of advertising in this Christmas holiday type of season. So maybe that's related to that.
Could be. Seeing a lot of returning players too.
Yeah, they might be. I don't know. Talk to them, see if they're getting, see what they're getting to join.
On this damage diffusion system versus the Hyper 30s, if y'all remember the last raid, or was it the raid before the CM fiasco we was having right off the bat? So that might be something to think about, because we were going with one CM and find out it wasn't working and we had to switch everything up.
Well, these ones are pretty. I mean, they appear to be straightforward.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.
You really only have 2 choices.
So what countermeasures are you guys using? Are you using a Gale and a Cormorant on each ship? 2 Cormorants? All Gales? What are you guys using?
Well, I think more of what Stormcatcher's talking about is that, gales versus sprints for the same thing, not like, You know, due to projectile time, unless you're changing the subject.
No, I'm
Okay.
not really. I didn't mean to be.
Okay.
Now, what I was talking about, the last raid, we were all putting gales on, but when they were had the TLOs and all that, I think they had the MDSs, with the they had it where it wasn't, we were putting on the CM that they said it wasn't supposed to work, but they switched it or something like that, if I remember right. Because
Yeah.
the VXP targets, we ended up using, I believe it was Gales or whatever, and when the raid
Sprints.
come out, or the sprints, but when the raid come out, we supposed to have the Gales or something like that. However, it went with the last raid cycle.
Yeah, and that was. Yeah, it seems like they did some adjustment, and that was based on projectile speed. It wasn't on projectile damage type or what was supposed to be firing at it. That was, they were sort of the game designers were a little bit noobish at that. They're less noobish now, but they were starting off trying to figure things out. I think is part of the problem.
Well, that's what I was thinking that everybody's had to take into thought if they wanted to use this damage diffusion system or the Hyper 30s.
Yeah, and at this point, I couldn't tell hitting the VXP target. I'm also referring to Lady Cat's question as far as putting 2 Comrants on versus, what ratio to put on.
Yeah, what works?
Well, nobody really knows what works because we haven't seen the targets yet. So, what I tried to do, because I think it was Alien asked what we thought about the VXP targets, and one of the big things that I thought was important is the fact that we can't see the accuracy-based missiles, or at least I can't see them, with all the fire going on. To make them more apparent, because I don't have the Comrant stats in front of me, but you need to know, because you're only firing at a torpedo once. So if you have, 1 on each ship, are you getting fired at by enough to? Because if you have too many, they're going to hit you before you even have a chance to fire. So it's the point is how much incoming fire you're having and what your ability is to limit that. So your countermeasures have a chance to catch up.
That makes sense.
Yes, but we can't really, I don't know. Derpy put together a video, and on these targets based on the VXP, and could you really see the incoming normal accuracy based torpedoes that well?
I had to record my screen, zoom in, and slow it down to even see them working, but they were working.
Yeah, they were there, but it was like it's like little, I don't even know what the euphemism, but they're just little squiggles relative to all this other stuff going on in the screen that they were hard to see with your outgoing fire, their other incoming fire, to see if you were even getting hit with those type of torpedoes, which are the ones that get countermeasured by the Cormorant.
Right. Yeah, I wish we could see.
Yep.
I wish there was more contrast. I wish there were more colors. I wish there's a better way to really see some of this happening.
Well, I mean, our outgoing torpedoes are really visible.
Right.
So, but we don't need to see our outgoing that much. We need to see their incoming. It's not as important for us to see that, at least in my mind.
I
would
agree.
rather see, I would rather see what they're shooting at us as opposed to what we're shooting at them.
Well, I want to see both. I want to know that I'm actually shooting at something. I'm not sitting there just, shooting blanks. So I'd like to see both. and comes
Yeah,
in
but if I had a choice, I would much rather see what they're shooting at me, because sometimes there is going to be a trade-off between those two.
True.
So,
Yeah.
TSM says they do stop approximately 20% of incoming. What did you have any? I guess there's no accuracy specials, so okay. Cuttlefish is asking for a damage report for statting CM stats, hit rates, etc. Age can't be countered. Okay. I'm assuming that was written properly. So, but the other thing that I asked about on the last two shows, and it would help clear up this a little bit, is the fact that back when we had charged armors, you were able to tell when you got hit by, when you got hit, period, and by what damage type you got hit by. And you would have a flash of one color, red for this and green for that, or yellow, whatever. And I think, besides charged armors, I think it would be helpful for a lot of players as far as hitting these targets, to see that across the board, to be able to see, okay, I just got hit by this, boom, 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 because a lot of times you can't tell when you get hit. Are those UAVs hitting me, or are they getting shot down? Are those missiles shooting? I can't see the torpedoes. Are they even firing? To know when you're taking damage, because I have a hard time at times to figure out if I'm actually taking damage and what I'm taking damage from.
I have to look at my red bar at the top sometimes to see if I'm actually taking damage, and that's bad if you're not a great driver, because it's like taking your eyes off the road. You might veer the wrong way.
Well, it's a false. Like I complained to Aussie about it. It was like, and the targets with the Dragoons, the 131s. I'm like, am I taking damage? I can't tell. Even if I look at that, if I look at that bar across the top, I'm not certain, because if I'm taking 15 minutes of damage on the whole target, and I have 12 hours of possible damage there, I don't know if it's a certain part of the target. Am I taking 2 minutes of damage? Am I taking 30 seconds of damage? Am I taking no damage at that point in time? And you can't really. I have a hard time telling on the screen.
Yeah,
I sometimes have to watch the retreat button to see if it keeps resetting on some of the targets you can retreat in, to see if that lets me see that.
I've done
What
that.
I would like to have happen is be able to right click on a turret or whatever, hover over a turret, and see all the stats. Like, this deals penetrative damage, and it has this % accuracy and this % countermeasure evade. That'd be nice, so that we know what we're hitting.
Yeah. Back in the day of data mining, that was all available, and it was more strategic at that point if people were publishing the data mining stuff. But yeah, and that, I consider that a strategic point in the game, because you knew, this is the range, this is, the flak evade, this is all these things, and you knew how to build your ships. Now we're just sort of winging it, but what you're asking for is very similar to what was going on when the Dark Alliance was around and they would publish all that stuff. They're not doing that anymore. So I think certain alliances are doing it, but I haven't seen any of that data in years. And it would be cool if they put that data out there, as far as, click on it or have it in the strategy guide or somewhere, allow us to build our ships in a certain way and allow us to hit in a certain way. Because it just seems like there's too much, like, rockets going this, just too many things going back and forth, and you can't really sort it out unless you go to slow-mo on it
And zoom in.
yeah the more they escalate this kind of stuff, the more difficult it is for people to see what's actually going on.
We all miss them, Cuddle.
Yep.
So, how is everybody doing with their riots?
I got my flag in.
Getting there.
Okay.
Yeah, my flag is done tomorrow. At
Okay.
least I still have to put all the weapons on it, but it and all the specials will be done tomorrow.
I have at least
Okay.
2 open spots on each one of the regulars, and the flag will be, the blank will come out tomorrow, and I think I got half a dozen or more tokens for each. It might be close.
Yeah, I'll be pretty much done except for I won't have all the armor on, I don't think. But I'll be halfway with armor. So I'm feeling comfortable that I'm probably better ready for this raid than I have been for any other raid in a while, it seems like.
That's just odd. Well, you took some time off because
Well,
the last raid cycle we had an extra
Week of FM.
13 days. So yeah, we were able to do more at that
Yeah.
point in time.
yeah. But
Okay,
yeah,
you want to go to the next slide?
See, I must not have been paying attention because I actually thought we had another week.
Yeah. If you had another week, we'd all be good.
Be in
but,
great shape. And I was thinking, oh, this is not going to be too bad. Now it's
Yeah.
going to be right up to the limit, I think. It might just make it.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm considering, I talked about this on Wednesday, but I'm going to add a little wrinkle to it today, is the fact that with the crowd control upgrade tokens, the Kixai 3-day, we got 5 on crowd control. We got 1 3-day through the last day of Kixmas, and then we get 1 just for participating in Pillage. You have enough to go from U0 if you haven't started any upgrades to U3 on 1 single ship. And from what we've seen in the VXP targets, the scouts put out a lot of splash damage. There is a potential driving strategy where you would want to put 1 ship forward and have that ship be your tank with the other ones coming by taking the damage. If you see getting a ship to U3 that might be your lead ship, it's probably not going to be your flag because we don't have any upgrade tokens for this. But you see that you're going to have 18,000 survival added to that 1 ship that you could lead with and potentially take a lot less damage. And that's the strategy I'm going for, and it doesn't take any shipyard time if you use the tokens that I highlighted earlier. So yeah, 4 ships at U1 I'm not as happy with, but it may work. I'm just highlighting the strategy I'm going with.
I think I did it. I already did it.
Mm-hmm.
Did what, the 4 ships at U1?
No.
Or the ship at U3?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's probably right. That's probably what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I've got 2 at 2 and 1 and 2 at 1, so I'm going to get one of them up. So there we go.
Yes, I need
Yeah.
to put gear down and get busy and pillage.
We are going to be getting the X1 upgrades when the raid update drops next week. So maybe that might be worthwhile too, to have 1 really high, so it's close to X1 if the X1 turns out being something good.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, with these sort of skirmish things where you have, you can drive a flag or drive a tank, not the flag. It just seems like the addition of that survival could be quite helpful. So, and okay, is everybody happy with everything going to X1 at this point?
Yeah.
Euphoria.
Well, I mean, I'm glad they told us rather than surprised us.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm happy they told us. I'm not a fan of the X1 upgrade. I'm not a fan of any of the upgrades, actually,
Hmm.
because it's added to my build time that I can't control with tokens. So I'm not happy with it. I can do FM to get tokens to reduce build time, but I can't do FM to get upgrade tokens. So they've added to build time as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah, they definitely have. They have
Yeah.
more than added.
So
So,
I am very displeased about that. But I won't say any bad words.
okay.
Send them all in the pre-show. Yes, Ninja, they all suck.
Hmm.
I agree. But it's probably maybe better than them adding specials and I mean adding stuff that we'd have to build like they were doing with the 3 raid cycle.
Well, except for the end of the Pegasus cycle, I was just wasting generic tokens. It appears, with the Golden Eagle.
Wasn't that supposed to be for the FM fleets? The
Yes,
Praetorian?
yes. Yeah. The Golden Eagle is supposed to be for the Praetorian fleets, but what I'm saying, you'll at least have a way to spend those generic tokens that you get.
Well, I thought they
pistol
said
power.
the X1s for the riots a few minutes ago. That's what I was wondering.
Okay, I'm sorry if I confused you. Yeah, didn't mean to confuse. I'm just saying I was more talking about upgrades versus real build time and how the FM generic tokens have been devalued, and at least this time it appears like they have some level of value because before, my Praetorians are done. I don't have anything to spend these on, so.
Well, my Raging Riot, I've got almost completely done because I had a 7-day token that I used on them.
Nice.
So that
Hacker.
I
I've never
have
gotten
yet to
one of
see
those
Okay.
ever.
Come on, Kixai, you need to make sure everybody gets one.
I'm
No.
sorry.
Trace's IP. We're gonna find him. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm actually finishing mine in 2.5 hours. And that's just using because I saved up generic tokens. I'm still gonna have one day I need to spend on a normal Riot, but I have done 0 upgrades, so I've been just purely building.
Same thing with me.
So I'll have like a day or so to do an upgrade beyond what I'm talking about here. So I'll have one at U3 and probably another one at U1. So
Well, I still need to upgrade Dragoons. I need to upgrade Pegasus. I need to upgrade Riots. Fortunately, I can get the Dragoon upgrades quite easily in this Pillage. In the Pillage, all I have to do is select the Riot. I get a Dragoon token.
yeah, a covert way to extend the life of said halls or not. So I find it is that people in the game want to, like if they see somebody gets, they're able to hit a target for 15 minutes and you're getting it at 30, you're going to do everything, you're going to keep on trying to figure out how to get it to 15 minutes. And usually these upgrades are involved in some way or kind. So people are, and there's no actual way to do it without either being at the top of the leaderboard or coining it. And so it's
Or coining to get to the top of the leaderboard.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, maybe next week on the Friday show, maybe we can bring in some guests to discuss the psychology of the blitz, because I don't get it. Why would you want to blitz to this point in time? and how are you playing the game that way? I don't quite understand it. So it would be interesting to have somebody explain that.
As far as upgrades go, that's how they were introduced to us, though. It was a way to extend the life of older holes.
Well, that's
Constantly
how it was supposed to be.
That's
Exactly
how it was
right.
supposed to be, and that's how it was introduced to us. So we accepted it easily, and then the next thing you know, they're doing it to current hulls,
To
and
every ship.
they're doing it to every ship before you even get to damn ship. The upgrades are out there. So yeah, it's sort of like we got tricked into that one.
I'm just gonna say my Pegasus are still at U0.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Derpy did was it the raid?
Mm.
Was it the raid?
Couple raids ago.
You won with no U rating, and we're still
Have
getting
you
good times.
have you done the time limited offer yet, Derpy?
No, like one of the gold ones, buying a Pegasus for 399 gold or whatever.
No, I'm sorry, the time limited
TLC.
Oh, the TLC.
The TLC.
I haven't done that, not yet, but I need to get around to it because these Praetorian tokens will be good with the Aquarium Aquila limited
Well,
special.
it gives Praetorian tokens, which I need. So I'd like to know how your Pegasus do in the TLC.
Has anybody done that TLC? And it seems like I hit Prize Pack 1, and for some reason, my Pegasus seemed like they was going a heck of a lot slower than they used to.
Yeah, mine seems slow too, and I just got tired of it. So instead of waiting in clouds and playing it right, I just went drive like a bull in a china shop and get this sucker done because I wanted the token to fix my Praetorians so that I could do Pillage, but I really needed it on my flag, and it's not a flag token, so it didn't do me any good anyway. I wish they had tokens for the Praetorian flag.
I mean, on Prize Pack 1, Stage 4, it literally almost took me the whole 15 minutes to get it done. That's how slow my Pegasus was moving.
I don't think mine was that bad.
So if I ever got up to the mastery stage, if it's taking me 15 minutes to do one level, forget it. I can't get it done.
Because it's only now it's for mastery for 3 onwards, actually.
Yeah, if you got 7 to get through.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to get the Pegasus upgrade tokens, thinking they'll help me do this TLC, but there aren't any tokens in Pillage.
The only
It's
thing
kits.
The only thing that seemed like it'll help the Pegasus is if you can get better speed.
Well, there's a speed crew. You could try remote raiders or something if you think speeds would help. I didn't recall it. I mean, I noticed they seemed slow, but I didn't notice it taking the whole time.
Yeah, I've noticed that over the course of the last few months. The ships seem to be going slower and slower in different targets.
Don't they? Even though the speed it says it has should be faster than what we're used to, they do seem slower.
Yeah, the actual speeds are going up, but the actual, the
visuals
in the stats, the speeds are going up. But when you put it in a target, it seems to be going slower than what other ships with less speed are going.
Well, see, my Pegasi's got like 60. I'm doing 66, I believe, and my I still have a thing of fangs, and they're doing less than my Pegasus. But when I go into the targets and all that, my fangs with lower combat speed, they're going faster than the Pegasus. So that's what I was wondering if anybody notices that they are going. Does it seem like they're going a lot slower than they used to?
I can't tell. That has a feeling of it, but I can't say or prove that it's faster or slower. And TSM, I agree with you 100%. There's a lot of psychological tricks that are used in warfare, including battle pirates, including gaming. And a lot of us aren't very good at avoiding some of those tricks. Oh, Chuck's got a good point. Weight displacement in molasses is kickside combat speed. So we gotta see how much molasses. They don't put that in the stats though, Chuck.
That's one of those things you need a data mine to figure it out.
Exactly. Well, it would be nice if Kicks could provide more information. A lot of us, like me, would just look at it and probably not even know what it meant. But people like you or Hefe, TSM, Ren, sure Aussie and Ben, you guys that understand the math behind it could work it out. Be very helpful if the information was there that let you do that.
Yeah, Ninja. I think the cargoes are different. They're set up different. The ships seem to go faster in the cargo.
I think they've changed the resolution
Oh,
of
there it
the
is.
maps. Yeah. Ninja agrees. Yeah. They've changed. Like the maps look the same, but there's more space in them. I'm not really, like they've changed the pixel size. I don't really know how to, or the game unit size. Everything seems to be, yeah. No, I agree with you. They've done something.
But hopefully, when they go to HTML5,
No, that's not going to change.
let me finish.
HTML5 is okay.
No,
go.
You didn't let her finish. Don't cut her off.
Okay.
Once they do that, then they can get busy working on all these other problems once that's done and out of the way.
I don't think that's a problem. I think they did this intentionally. I think they'd done this to slow, the problems with lag, the problems with, if things happen too quickly, there's more lag issues, and players have a worse experience. So I think this is intentional.
But it feels like we're being gaslighted because the statistics are telling us it should be faster, and it's not looking faster.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'm going to
put me in the quiet rooms.
Yep. That was what I was going to say. No, I was going to say that I'm going to put BP next week came out, so I'm going to create that as the next slide. I'm not sure if you need to refresh or not. Everything is what we've seen before.
Which slide?
The next slide, 13. So I'm not sure. Yeah, you might need to refresh because it's. I just put it in. The only it's a lot of stuff that we've seen before. The only interesting part in this is on Wednesday. Chaos is a ladder. Climb fast, pirates, and you might end up on top. So I don't even know what that part means.
I like to be on top.
All right,
Maybe double points first 24 hours or something.
Or unless it's like the last race we had where we had to do the ladder tier, the tier ladder or whatever.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think Derpy had a good idea too, because they've done that before, where they lowered the price for the first 24, 48, 36, 48 hours, and then they increased it later on for the people that wanted to grind on targets. So,
see, that's hard on the working public, but whatever.
yeah, it's yeah, cuttlefish things later. leaderboards, and I don't know why TSM is crying regarding you, but yeah.
I do, but
Okay. So, but everything else is what we've seen previously. We knew Chaos Theory. We knew that we were going to get the. I don't know. You do the best job pronouncing it, Derpy. Aramakilia. The Golden Eagle rockets. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clara Maquila? I don't know. Now you have me second guessing myself.
No. I have no idea. I just know it means Golden Eagle, so I'm going with that. And upgrades for both the flag and the regular Riot, and yeah. And
I will mention.
Go ahead.
I will mention that Kickside generally puts out a strategy guide the day the raid starts. I put out one on forums earlier today. So if you want to see my prediction for the raid, you can go read that on forums. It might all be wrong, but it's something.
Yeah. No, it was pretty good. How did you figure out the exact range of the scouts?
When I took in my riots that fired about the same time, I was able to outrange them with my silverfish.
Okay, so it could be anywhere from 88 to whatever, right?
It could be 87, could be 89, could be 90.
Okay.
But it's less than 93 and about the same as 88.
Yeah, so they are kiteable.
Barely.
Yeah. So. Rockets. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There's a forum post too where I wrote stuff down in more detail than the video I put out.
And people are loving your video. Lego, well done. I watched it, and Chuck's is awesome. So yeah, everybody's a fan.
Yeah, but what's Cuttlefish saying about the rockets there?
Let's call them AA rockets because it's as opposed to us having to say Golden Eagle or
Oh, gotcha.
Or Aria Makila, or whatever you want to say it. Let's call them AA. I like Golden Eagle, but yeah.
better than cockatoo.
Yeah, it does look like a cockatoo. We can go to that as well. But, yeah. I think
Crazy
yeah. Well, it's like the steelpunk cockatoo. It's steelpunk. You go to slide 5. Okay, one more click. No, it is just one click.
Oh.
Just the space button.
Okay.
There we go.
Gotcha.
There we go. Yeah, it looks like a steelpunk cockatoo. So.
I mean steampunk.
Steampunk, yeah.
Yeah. Could be steel steampunk.
Yeah.
I still see a Mayan or Aztec god. But yeah. I like Golden Eagle.
Well, that's what it translates to. And I don't know what Mondo is, so, I'm going to have to look that up.
Turkey.
Mando is a Mandalorian. That's in the new show on Disney Plus.
Okay. You kids are so hip nowadays. I have no idea.
It's a real clucker, that one.
Yes. Yeah. Because I can, I don't know. I'm going to look up Steampunk Eagle. You guys will see what I'm talking about. That it's
yeah, that looks pretty similar.
copy image. And all right, let's see. 1 second. All right, Lady Cat, hit refresh one more time.
And what slide are we going to?
No, just hit refresh. Same. I put it on this slide.
I am liking the Chaos Theory artwork though. That's cool.
No, the one. Oh yeah.
It's when I refresh it, put me there. So, okay, should be there. Yep.
Okay, one more click, so we get the other one. It's got a similar feel to it, right?
Yeah, it does. You're right. I see it now.
Mm.
Peck missile.
Cool.
Like that.
So
Or
it's a
rocket.
steampunk cockatoo, but yeah, it's all good. So, is there much else we need to talk about tonight? It's we've gone over our hour. You know, so people don't get upset. You know, since they put their nickel in the, you know, they put their nickel in, and you know, if it doesn't go for an hour, they get upset. But
You did good. An hour and 17.
yeah.
You got a nickel and a half's worth.
Yeah.
Almost.
One and a quarter.
Yeah. So are we going to talk about the fact that Australia may not be here next week?
It's all
Oh.
burning down. Is that what you're going
Screen share.
for?
Whoa, as far as your, yeah. Yes, there's,
Aussie, did you take in any koalas and monkeys and stuff? People are taking those in, I heard.
No, I'm on the wrong side of the country.
Oh, that's good then.
yeah,
that's
you only have that one. Yeah.
Whenever anything like this happens, it's sad.
No, it's very sad, and it's
Yeah, it really is, honestly.
I mean, because it's not going to get better. Even when the fires go out, this kind of thing is going to lead to further desertification of Australia. I mean, once you burn away the forest like this, and you don't have rain, the desert just spread and spread. Yeah, it's not good. Not good at all. You know, it's gonna limit what's available for people to live in. Yeah, it's not good.
And can everyone see the face in these clouds, in this smoke?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I see that.
Oh, that's scary. Well, if there's
That
any,
picture was taken like 2 days ago from the fires.
you know, I got room for an adorable koala if you want to send one my way.
Wow.
I'll
What
take
you
care of
you already have chlamydia?
it. No.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
No, that's all burnt off.
No, that's all.
well, we've already had discussion
No.
on what you can get just from touching a koala. So yeah,
All right.
I don't know what to say, but
Send me a kangaroo instead.
Oh,
Kangaroo-
you don't want to see
kangaroos-
the picture. You don't want to see the picture of the kangaroo I got.
yeah,
Oh, my God.
No,
don't
I'll
wanna
share that
see
when
it.
we go off air.
yeah. Kangaroos will beat the shit out of you too. They're nasty.
No, not this one. Hang on.
Okay, all right.
No, you really don't
Hang
want
on
to
a
see
minute, I gotta
this.
find it.
I don't want to see it. Don't show it. I'm not going to be in the
I
after
gotta
show.
find
Okay.
where it is.
Okay. Somehow other people know what this is going to be, but yeah. So, I don't know. Hope we talked about enough. I'll put the link in case everybody wants to see. Whoops. Yeah, I need to get the new link involved. But, you know, yeah, kangaroo tastes good. You know, it's a good lean red meat.
Well, my prayers and thoughts are with it, all y'all from Australia. You know, except for the kangaroo eaters.
Yeah.
Man, kangaroo. Whatever.
Anymore.
Okay.
Just deleted it.
Well, I put the link in the right-hand side in case anybody would like to join the after show where we'll get further into the ecology of fire ecology of Australia and what happens to kangaroos and steampunk cockatoos and golden eagles. So thanks everybody for showing up, and I don't know where this came from. Oh, no, kangaroo is way too expensive to put in Jack in the Box tacos. Yeah, you end up spending. Yeah, it's way more expensive than beef, at least in the U.S. So I don't know. And I've never eaten a Jack in the Box taco. Normally people go after Taco Bell, but well,
Good night, everybody.
so we'll see you all on Wednesday when we're prepping for the raid and we know what the Golden Eagle rockets are like, and we'll get our first impressions of what's happening with the raid targets. And were we misled? Did we do a good job trying to figure out, Hyper 30 versus the new special that they dropped at the last minute? Who knows? So see y'all then, and happy pillaging.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.